Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. Brighton 4, Manchester United 0. I'm joined by Stephen Howson. Another of these I can't believe I've seen it moments as a United fan that we seem to see more and more often as the years go by, getting absolutely destroyed and outplayed by Brighton. Give me just your initial thoughts on that.
Disbelief. A little bit of disbelief, I would say, at just how poor we were. And it's killing my vibe and my optimism for next season. And this is not news to anybody, but Ten Hag's got an absolutely mammoth task in turning it round. And I said in my own review, I think there's so many structural things have got to be fixed. Like, it isn't just about getting a whole new 11. Like, I think there's a mentality thing inherent in the football club that needs correcting. We are rudderless. And everyone has got a part to play in that. And I think it wasn't just Sir Alex's football management and tactical mind that we lost when Sir Alex moved on. I think we lost his standards. Things like, I mean, you hear some of the older players talking about Phil Neville came to training in a Ferrari once. This is when he's a well-established England international, multiple-time Premier League winner. He fucking booted balls at it and he never came back in it. Yeah. Like, I've used this phrase a fair bit in the last couple of months, and it's the only thing that I can see that sort of makes a lot of sense. And it was, Manchester United used to be a place where there was opportunity. And if you was a good footballer, you would go to Manchester United for the opportunity to win trophies. Weirdly, because we was winning trophies, now it seems like you go to Manchester United and you've made it, even though we're not at the height that we used to be. It feels like Manchester United is now the destination and not the opportunity. And it feels like the players, when they get to United, aren't then taking their careers to the next stage. They're regressing. They're relaxing. They're sitting on their laurels. They're not seeing this as, this is the place. Like, this is, like, how many players have you heard after their first training session at United was like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to have to work hard to stay here. Yeah. No, Nemanja Vidic famously pulling players in and going like, the fuck is going on? Is this what training's like? Yeah. Can you even imagine someone saying that about this training now?
No. I can't imagine any.
Isn't that the issue then?
Well, yeah.
There's the issue.
Yeah. And there's a quote from David De Gea the other week that I think he's a good example to use, because he's someone that has been successful at Man United. He has played under Ferguson, who has won league titles at Manchester United. And he said, I think it was just before Solskjaer got sacked. So, it's been going on for a while. And it was something along the lines of, I don't know what it is at the moment. It's almost like we've been cursed. And that just complete lack of responsibility for the situation that they're in. The fact that, like, it's not our fault. Something's done, someone's done something to us. And that thing of the mentality thing, not only did not all of those players have that mentality when they came in, looking back at the great times at Manchester United, some of them learnt it from the players that were already there. But not just that, so like you said with Phil Neville, some of them had to keep learning it and keep being checked. And you have that mentality that never changes and never falters. And even if it's a top player, I know Phil Neville wasn't the biggest name in the dressing room, but like you said, an established England international, you still don't come in showing off and taking the piss and acting like you're bigger than things. And we just don't have that at all at the minute. Do you think that Ten Hag or any manager can bring in enough of that with the current structure at United? Because there does seem to be a lot of people who are certainly new and trying. John Murtaugh is new and trying. Fletcher is doing something new and is trying to change things. Can Ten Hag be enough of a difference?
If he's given power, yeah. But I think that's the fundamental thing is, Sir Alex Ferguson had the power to build the club in his image, not just in 2007 and beyond, but in 1986. He was given the free rein. He walks in and goes like, how many scouts we got? Fuck that, no, let's quadruple it. Who's this lot? Oh, this is Norman Whiteside. He's a legend. Happy birthday, Norman, by the way, today. He's an absolute legend. Yeah, fuck him off. Who's this? Fuck him off. Yeah. Paul McGrath was that one of the best defenders in the country. Fuck him off. Kept hold of Mark Hughes, kept hold of Brian Robson, but completely dismantled the culture at Manchester United because it was a drinking culture, and he created a training culture, and he did that a lot through bringing in a lot of the youth. I mean, some that were less successful than the famous class of '92, but the likes of Lee Martin were United youth players, Mark Robbins, United youth players. He relied on youth immediately. He wasn't like he was. People seem to just rewrite the history that Sir Alex Ferguson was anointed with the class of '92. He was panned when he first started playing them on a regular basis. That's all the won't win nothing with kids vibe. But that was 10 years after he started the job. He got youth players into the team prior to that, and moved them on when they weren't good enough, and eventually found your Beckhams and your Giggs and your Scholes and your Nevilles, etc. But he was given the power to move on big money players, big money signings, club legends, fan favourites, youth players that weren't performing, restructuring the scouting department, demanding more from training. Ron Atkinson, I mean, he had plenty of faults, but one of the less egregious ones was that training was 5-a-side. Yeah. And they'd train Tuesday morning, get 48 hours off to go on the piss, see you on Thursday afternoon. Late start because you'd be hungover. Yeah. Can you imagine? No. Yeah. Now, you got away with that to a certain degree because we weren't the only club doing it.
Yeah, ridiculous. Just on some of these players, obviously we're looking ahead a little bit. On some of the players that we've seen today, I was saying before, it's almost like the only excuse some of them have got is that, well, they can't be this bad. You look at someone like Raphael Varane, who has won everything, who was one of the first names on the team sheet for one of the most successful clubs in the world over the last decade. And today he's sloppy, can't get his feet together, he's miscontrolling the ball, putting Danny Welbeck through on goal, missing headers. He's almost just a singular example of something that's spread through the entire club. Do you think more of these players can be turned around, or do you think, we are going to have to go again? I'm not saying Varane would be one to go, by the way, but you look at Maguire and Rashford and Shaw and Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof to a certain extent. Do you think some of these can turn it around, or do you think we just have to go, you're done, move on?
We're going to have to turn some of them around. Yeah. It's just wholly unrealistic to expect a new squad. Yeah. I think you can see a lot of the obvious ones. Like, we could literally sit here and name 10 players without a lot of effort that are going. Yeah. When you start including Bay on top of the Pogbas and Lingards and Matters and Matiches, you quickly get to double figures. Very, very quickly get to double figures. You don't have to stretch any imagination to think of 10 players
still
as well.
Plays
when you
for
think
Man
of Dean Henderson, Heaton, all of these sorts, you very, very quickly arrive at 10, and there might be a couple of surprise departures. There's some talk that Telles is for sale, some talk that Wan-Bissaka is for sale. Those would be the ones that would raise an eyebrow, probably. That you think maybe, certainly Maguire, obviously, I don't think he's good enough to be playing and shouldn't be Manchester United captain, but I'd raise an eyebrow if he managed to offload him, because I think that's going to be difficult. I would raise an eyebrow if Rashford went, because I think he represents more than just being a member of the squad. I think that would be looked upon as quite disastrous for United's academy if he was moved on after one bad season. And people are like, why defending him? Well, I'm going to defend a player that played for a broken back with us. Yeah. Just have to fucking stick up your ass, because I'm not going to waver on that. Yeah. If he goes 6 weeks into the new season and he still looks like he does today, that's different. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He gets one. Everyone's going to get one. But this, he's sailing close to the wind. If he doesn't fix up in the first 2 months of next season, I can't say why we should keep him. Yeah. But I think it's wholly unrealistic to expect that you're going to, if 10 go, 4 to 6 of those replacements are coming from fucking La Carrington. Yeah. There's no way on this earth that you're bringing in 10 first team players. And if you do, you're making some mistakes, because you're going to have to rush through some of these. United are not known for speed on deals. So if you want to get 10 players in, you might look at 3 windows for United to bring 10 players in, if we're being honest with ourselves. It's not something we're efficient at doing very quickly. No. Ten Hag's got a hell of a job. And I did a video when Moyes went, the night Moyes went, I think it was. And I think I said, it's going to suck for 5 years, lads.
I wish. I wish.
So that was, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
That we should have been over the sucking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Might have misjudged that. Maybe optimistically thought we'd get it right after that. And we didn't. But I'm thinking, I'll repeat that.
Yeah.
I'll say this might suck for 5 years. Yeah. And I'll see you in 2026 when we've just appointed Evra as manager.
God. And we'll be optimistic about that as well, because that's what we do. Right. Thank you very much for joining us, Steve. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. It's almost unbelievable, and I don't know what to say about the Brighton game. You have to look at the bigger picture as a whole. So get your thoughts in the comments below. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in a bit.